What's up, y'all? This your girl J Renee with Prison Riot Radio and We Nation. I hope that you're doing well. This lovely morning, we got a brother on the phone. He goes by GP the Beast, and we're gonna talk to him about past, present, and future. Okay, he got a lot of wonderful things going on. He's got a podcast that he does. He creates music, and we're just gonna see what the brother got going. I heard a lot of great things about him through my comrade and friend Minister X. So let's jump right into it. All right. How you doing, brother? Good morning.
What's going on? It's a pleasure to be on your show. My name's GP the Beast, and we've got to have a really good time.
Oh, most definitely. I feel that. So again, thank you for coming on. I want to give you an opportunity to tell the people a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
Yeah, they call me GP the Beast. I'm from Sacramento, the 916. I was born in Sacramento. I was kind of raised up in two hoods, so I'm like the only one that actually claims two hoods from Sacramento. I claim Oak Park and I claim Del Paso Heights. Although these two hoods clash and they are enemies, I am kind of like a little bit of unique because I'm able to be loved in each one of them. And pretty much as a young age, born in poverty, born on welfare, the middle child of 6 children. I kind of felt overlooked. I kind of felt that we were poor, and I kind of wanted to make it better. So I looked up to pimps and drug dealers, and I emulated them and became like them. And I feel like I kind of took it to another level.
Okay. Your story is definitely unique to be able to and even want to represent two hoods. I haven't heard too much about Sacramento, but I have heard that it can be kind of rough growing up there. Like, what was your experiences as a youth?
I mean, as a youth, I'm a short person. My family is short. My experience was, I really wanted this money, man. I wanted to make life better for us, so I really got into the game. And realizing that I was short, I would be tested because, I was just a little bitty dude, and dudes wanted that money, and they seen I knew how to get it. So I had made up my mind early in the game. I said, I might be short, but I know if I let one person take $1 from me, then the rest of them going to try to take $1, and it's going to ruin my career. Yeah. Sadly, I really believed that being a drug dealer at that time, that was my career.
Yeah, that's deep, bro. I know that you just got home about 8 months ago. I want to say welcome home. How long did you do?
Thank you.
Yes, for sure. How long did you do behind the wall?
Well, I got 27 years in totally. Mm-hmm. I done been to the feds and I done been to the state. I did a 10-year bid in the feds, and I done did 17 years in the state prison. This last bit, I received 17 years. I believe I did 11 of them. I went to college while I was in there because they was letting you get like 7 days off a week for every course you completed in college. So I ended up taking like 20 classes of college, to knock off 2 years and receive degrees. Okay. So I knocked off a couple of years. I knocked off 2 years, and during the time, the law had changed twice. So one time they knocked off 7 months, another time they knocked off a year. So, I went up in there and, I decided I needed to get my life right. So I started focusing on doing the right thing. And the one thing I knew I had to do was try to get out as early as possible. Mm-hmm. And so, I ended up doing like 11 years on that.
Okay. So I know you say you went to school and that was something to do, but what motivated you to get up and push every day to even do that and know that, okay, this is going to end in me getting out? Like, what was your motivation day to day that just kept your head above water?
My motivation was 2 things. The one thing was, people used to clown me because I used to sit at the table, with hella classes. When I went there, I said, man, I want 5 classes. And the teacher said, it's impossible. Nobody could do 5 classes in the course. But I was looking at like, okay, that's 7 days off. If I get 5 classes, that's 35 days off.
Right.
People used to be like, man, you retarded, but that's going to take forever to get your time off.
Right.
7 days ain't nothing. You know what I mean?
Shoot.
And I used to say, man, if they gave me 1 day off, man, I'd be hella happy. Right. I ain't never got a day off, never in my life. So right. 1 day closer to the house is better than waiting that whole next day, because that next day I could get killed or something right. can happen in this prison, because things happen every day. So my motivation was, for one, I was going to get out early. The second motivation was, 2, it's educating me. Every time I read these books, I learn something that I never knew. Some things I thought I knew, and I was on point, but I was like, ooh, now I got the real nuts and bolts of it, but I really works like that. You feel me?
Yeah, your math is definitely adding up to me. A day is a day, and that's a day, like you said, closer to the house. So I understand, your view on that 100%. Speaking of some of the things that can happen in prison that can stop you from coming home, I know that you have a podcast that is very, very successful. It's named after you. What made you want to do a podcast?
What made me want to do a podcast was, when you come out of prison, I've always been a person that knew how to come up. I was on Death Row Records. I started rapping at a young age. I sold dope. I was a huge dope dealer in Sacramento. That's what sent me to the feds. So I always been motivated to try to be something. While I was in prison, I wrote books. You know what I mean? So I've always wanted to do something. And while I was in prison, people, because I'm like a legend a little bit in my city. You know what I'm saying? People know me. So they was like, well, bro, when you get out, you ain't going to be able to rap, bro. You too old for that. Ain't no older rappers like that. And I'm like, well, niggas lie, but numbers don't, man. The numbers will tell me if I'm too old or not. But the bottom line to answer your question was, I had to get out and I had to find me a lane. I had to find me a lane that was going to create some income, legal income, because I never want to be a criminal ever again. Right. The one thing about being a criminal is when you bubble, they take your money, they put you in jail, then they denigrate your character, and they make you the worst person in the world. Mm-hmm. So the bottom line is, if you don't want to go to jail, then don't be a criminal. Don't think like a criminal. So I got on this podcast, and the reason how I got on the podcast was that, just like you, a person wanted to interview me because of my story, because of my past experience, and because of where I'm at right now, and because of what I've done for the city. Like, I'm the uncle of Mozzy, you know what I mean? I assisted in his come up. I changed the name from Sacramento to Macrao. I done a lot of things and been the first in this city. So when he did the interview, I asked him, well, how did you get into this? Because he was also a former person that was incarcerated, and he had 16 to life. Okay. And he said, I stumbled up on it, but when he did the interview on me, he said, bro, you go crazy. I said, bro, I'm finna try this myself. He said, yeah, because you got a hell of a story. Your story is, you know what I'm saying, you go crazy. It ain't gonna feel you. And it went crazy. It just went crazy. I tried it and it went crazy.
Yeah, not only do you have a hell of a story, like I was telling you yesterday, you are an excellent storyteller. And me, myself, when I was listening, I'm sure your other listeners can agree to this. It's like I was just waiting for the next word. It was like you totally had my attention and captivated, which can be hard in today's society with so many different things going on. So you definitely, I think you're a natural, for what you do. When it comes to podcasting, there can be an array of topics. What made you decide to say, okay, I'm going to tell these stories? Did it something that you just got in front of the mic and it came natural, or did you plan on what you was wanting to present?
That's a really good question, because when people want to do interviews with me, or if I consider doing an interview, people say, well, write everything down. I need you to do that. No, I'm like, I don't do that. Right. I don't write stuff down. Things come natural for me. I just keep it 100. If it's real, it's real. If I don't agree with it, I'm going to let you know. You know what I mean? If you say something that you don't like, but you need to let me know, don't put that in the story, because I'm going to keep it 100. That's why I call it another real story. Right. You know what I mean? It's not edited. It's edited only for people that have a visual. I added visual to my story,
right.
but I just get on there, I turn on the mic, and I tell the story. Right. You know what I mean? That's what I do.
No, you definitely great at it. I want to speak on some of the things you brought up in your answers. I was going to ask you this anyway, for sure. You say you changed the name from Sacramento to Macrao. Now, I don't know what that means, but I want to know, like, what does that mean? And tell us about, like, how did that go down?
Well, you know, I'm from Sacramento, see, yeah. And we, you know, we're a city of Bloods.
Okay.
But, you know, when I signed the Death Row Records, you know, they was Bloods. And me and Suge used to have little verbal conversations. We used to disagree with each other because, you know, when we would have topics like, you know, Suge, even though Suge was a $300 million man, he still, you know, had a gang-banging mentality. So he would be like, y'all only Bloods because of us. Bro, y'all got gang banging from LA. And I'll be like, yeah, bro, we did, because y'all really started this shit, you know what I mean? But we not like y'all, though, bro. Y'all is like full-fledged gang members, bro. We like gang members / pimp / hustler / drug dealer. You know, we gonna get our money, you know what I'm saying? We banging because we banging. This is our city. But we don't put banging first. Right. But we put them on the same level. But the bottom line is, it's confusing to me because you got 300 million and you still tripping off banging like that, but I'm really just trying to come up. You feel me? Right. You know, that's my mission. So by us being Sacramento, I'm like, bro, we really kind of like pimps and Macs, and we thugging, so we Macrao. You know what I mean? Because we do everything because of Mac. You know, he don't just got one title. He's not just a pimp. You know what I mean? He's a person that capitalizes on all levels of the game. And I kind of feel like that's what we do because we wasn't just one track minded like that.
Right. Okay. I can feel that. So how long has it been referred to as that? Put us on to the history.
I believe I started that in about, I think I started that, where you from, Sacramento, Macrao shit. I don't really know. That's probably
okay.
Let me see.
That's back in the bin, huh? That's in the bin days. Okay, I said that's back in the bin somewhere. Okay.
Yeah, it's been some years, man. It's probably 20 plus years. You know what I mean?
Okay, for sure. All right. So breaking up Suge and being signed with Death Row. How old were you, and like, what was that experience like at first? Being a youth and like, okay, dang, I'm signed to somebody that the whole United States know.
Man, that was big. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy how it happened. You know, that's when Suge had went to jail. So when he went to jail, he was actually in state prison. Then I had came out of federal prison, and I had started smashing in the rap game. And I came up with the song Finally. So they finally let the G up out the pen.
Okay.
And LA was really on my music, you know, especially the Mexicans. They was really slapping my shit. And is it okay to cuss on this or no?
Yes, feel free to express yourself.
Okay.
Nonsense.
So yeah, they was really okay. They was really slapping my shit, and you know, they really slapping it on the yard in the prisons. Okay. And Suge was feeling that because I was like a blood. You know, I was really talking my gang banging blood shit, and I just got out the pen, and you know, I'm really talking that shit, and he like, bro, I really like that dude, right? And the nigga he was fucking with on the yard, my partner, he let him know, man, that's my partner.
Right.
My partner was named Famous. He like, that's my partner. I know him. He like, you don't know him. He like, bro, I know him. He from our hood. What you talking about?
Right.
He like, you know him. He like, yeah, and I call him. I fuck with him. That nigga send me money and everything. He like, so you can tap in with him. Tell that nigga I want to talk to him. And so he called me and he told me. I mean, I called him. I mean, when he found, he called me. And I tapped in, he like, bro, Suge on you, bro. He like, you raw in the motherfucker. He want to sign you to Death Row. I'm like, serious, you playing? He like, bro, I'm not playing. That nigga up here with me.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, well, I gave him my manager number, Sonny Blend from Blow You Up Promotions. And he called. He really called the next day. And he was like, you the manager for GP the Beast? He like, yeah. He like, the one that sing the song Finally? He like, yeah. He said, "Do we got another song?" He like, "Yeah." He said, "You want to hear it?" He said, "Yeah."
Right.
He played it for him, and that was called The Call. GP the Beast, it was called The Call. And he played it for him, and he said, "Oh, hell yeah. Tell him I want to sign him. I want to sign him right now." And he's like, "Okay, well, what's up? I'm going to have to call him." He said, "But ask him, can he come to L.A.? I'm going to book y'all a flight right now. Can y'all get on the next flight in an hour?"
Like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I remember he called me. I'm like, "Bro, quit playing." He like, "I'm not playing, bro. Just got off the phone with Suge, bro. He's gonna book us a flight. Is it good? Is you ready?" I'm like, "Right now."
Right.
What are you talking about? It's Death Row Records.
Right.
No matter what I had going on.
Facts.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was big. You know, I got the chain. I had a little issue getting the chain. You know, at first they wanted to give me the little Boosie gold chain, and Michelle A was in the car. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, "I don't want that." But Suge was in jail, so he had me fucking going through this nigga Reggie Wright, who was running Death Row Records at the time. I'm sure a lot of people have heard about Reggie Wright. He's been in the tabloids a lot, and yeah, tried to give me the little gold one. I'm like, "Bro, I'm not taking that, bro." He's like, "What? What you mean you ain't taking that? Death Row Records, you should be privileged." I said, "Bro, I'm not taking no Boosie Gold Death Row chain. I want the one like Tupac. Got platinum and diamonds. I'm not representing that in Sacramento. I'm crazy as fuck. I'm not moving like that." He like, "All right, well, fuck it then. You ain't getting it." I said, "All right, I don't want it."
Right.
Pushed off.
Right.
15 minutes later, he called me back. "Bro, where you at?" Nigga, "Where you at? You in my city. Where you at?" "I'm over here on Woo." "Okay, I know where you at. Well, come get it then." So I come get it. And he didn't give me the right one, but then he don't give me the chain. I'm like, "Well, where the chain?" "You gotta get your own chain." I said, "Man, you niggas hella cheap, man, to be rich as fuck, but it's good though. I'm gonna go get this new chain."
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, be happy.
Okay.
Sacramento, the first one, the only one to ever represent Death Row out here, you know what I mean, in Sacramento, and we pushed the line and kept pushing.
All right, that's a part of history right there, for sure.
For sure.
That's them throwback files.
Yeah, you the first one that got that information too.
Thank you. I feel privileged. I'm curtsying. You just can't see me. But for sure. So yeah, being in the scene like that. So how many songs did you get to make? Did you ever go on tour? Like, how did that look once you actually was signed and you was legit, under Death Row?
Yeah, we didn't, Suge got out of jail and he was signing people under the new label, The Row.
Okay.
But it turns out that they didn't give Suge no distribution. You know what I mean? The Jews had blackballed him because all the shit he had did when he had Death Row. So they wasn't really trying to do business with him no more because he really wasn't a good person to do business with. He was lightweight, smashing on everybody and bullying everybody, and they wasn't used to that type of tactics up in that type of business, and they didn't want him back.
Okay, I can understand that. Suge definitely has a reputation for getting what he wants. Yeah, he definitely got that reputation. All right, so after that, did you continue to do music, or did you start to venture off into other things?
Oh yeah, I continued on my music because I was doing it independently anyway. I had just on GP Records, so I continued on my music. And my nephew was coming up; he wanted to be a part of it. And his name was Lil Tim at the time. They call him Mozzy right now. And he wanted to get in the game, so I put him in the game. I brought him to the studio. I put him on the Macrao movie. I had made a movie called Macrao. I was making movies too. I had Macrao Girls Going Crazy. Oh, wow. So I put him on there, and he liked he was like an E40 at the time because he had that lingo. If y'all know about Mozzy, he got that special lingo. Mm-hmm. So he had that lingo back then. So I had him on the Macrao movie on my platform. Put him in the studio, you know what I'm saying? Put him on my first album, you know what I mean? And I was trying to push the line again. Of course, I went to jail again. I'm a person who done went to jail on several occasions. And when I go to jail, they seem to always give me a whole lot of time.
Yeah, trying to keep the black man down. That's how they do it. So You
For
say you
sure,
mean?
especially if they see some talent in it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. They definitely don't want that to be spread around. You know what I mean? When they see you trying to
Right.
do big things. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you said that. So you started doing movies. Was that something that came naturally? Like, what made you say, you know what, I'm finna put a movie together? Because most people not doing that.
Yeah. Right, like I told you, I done a lot of firsts, and I always I always thought of ways to try to get money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even though I was a thug and I was illegal, I was always trying to make it legal. You know what I mean?
Right.
I really wanted to be somebody in this world. You know, I wanted to be somebody that the world will remember. You know what I mean? 100 years after I'm gone. So I'm like, ooh, since I was already balling, I was, selling drugs. I was a thug. I was gang banging. I had killed the big homie in my hood and I got out. You know what I'm saying? So I really was like a powerful figure out there in Sacramento. So I used to have niggas riding with me and I used to be like, nigga, film my life. You know what I'm saying? Because my life is like a movie.
Okay.
So I used to have niggas filming me. And then once I did that, I had met a white boy and I said, man, could you make me a movie and edit it? And he like, hell yeah, you GP the Beast. I want to fuck with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he was fucking with me and he was making the movie. But then I don't know what happened. He didn't come in. He said, I ain't going to be able to come in today. And I said, all right. And then he like, man, I'm sick. I don't think I'm going to be able to come in for like 3 days. So I'm the type of person, I don't know what it is about me, right? While I was watching him and he didn't want to come in, I'd be feeling like, man, we missing time. I need to get the movie done. You know, when I start something, I want to finish it. I don't like to put shit in limbo because then we hardly never come back to it. It just happens like that, right? So I started getting on the computer and I started finishing it. And I started remembering the shit he did and the shit that I liked it. I didn't know what it was called. I didn't know the language, but I just kind of knew the buttons and I kind of knew the feel. And after 3 days, when he came back, he like, yeah, man, I'm ready, man. I said, man, the
like,
movie
ready,
done.
he done.
He like, it's done. How could it be done? Who did it? I said, I did it.
Right.
He said, how could you do that? I went to school for 2 years to learn how to do. How you do that? I said, I don't know, just watching you, I guess, being in here watching you.
Yeah.
And I made that motherfucker raw. So I had to put directed by me and him after that, right?
Okay. That's fly, yo. You a quick study. That's what's up. That's you remind me a lot of my husband, Dutch. He like that. If he set out a goal, he gonna get it done. He don't care if the word burning around him. He finna get that done. That's something that.
Hey,
Go ahead.
Speaking of Dutch,
yeah.
Dutch, this is how I wrote my first book. I was in prison, in a state prison, and everybody around there was reading urban books.
Mm-hmm.
And this nigga said, bro, why you don't never read them urban books? And I said, for what? They ain't doing nothing but talking about my life. And in the end, it's always going to end up bad, right where we at. Mm-hmm. I already know them stories. You know what I'm saying? And he said, yeah, but I'm telling you, bro, you should read it, bro. They hella entertaining. And I said, you know what? I'm going to try that shit. Okay. And I said, if I'm going to read a book, I'm going to read the one called Dutch, right?
Right.
Because it was smacking. It was, high profile up in prisons. Yeah. Dutch was the one. So I read Dutch, and I liked it so much that when I put it down, I wrote my first book called Promise. I said, nigga, I can do this. Yeah. I can make my own books because these is raw, but they don't got nothing about Sacramento, and they don't talk like us, and they lingo ain't like us, so I can do it in my flavor. And I did.
You put Sacramento on the map in so many ways. How does that feel to know that you did that?
I don't know. I didn't really know I was doing that. When I look back at the history, when I do my podcast and I tell my stories, because I damn near forgot about all that shit. And when I did time in prison, I never came back to Sacramento and told prison stories like what I was doing in prison. Right. I just got right back on the money. I had to start bubbling in Sacramento, right? Mm-hmm. So to know that I really pushed that hard, one of the things that amazes me right now is that, bruh, I tell myself, just because you was a real nigga, you actually are able to create an income now.
Yeah.
Man, how beautiful is that?
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Especially now, everybody think you gotta be a scammer and do all this weird stuff, and that ain't so for real. And it's good to know your story. That's why your story is important too, for others to know, those behind the wall, those that might just came home, those that's hoping to come home, that there is something to do besides turn back right around and go back inside. For sure. Yeah.
And it's really, it's really like I call it another real story for a reason, because the whole focus on my podcast for me is, bruh, all you gotta do is be real, bro. Mm-hmm. All that fake shit is boosie. Mm-hmm. Don't, you know what I mean? You gotta know when you look in the mirror, bro, the mirror ain't gonna lie to you. You can run that game on everybody in the world. You can tell your story how you want to. But the mirror know the truth, bro. It know what you think, it know what you did, it know who you are and who you not. So the main thing that I'm saying is just keep it real, because what's so beautiful about the internet and about being real is that when you tell your story, you got motherfuckers all over the world tuning in, and they done been there. They could have been in that spot with you. Right. They could have been in that city with you. They could know who you are. And they could easily say, that nigga lying, bro. That was there. That nigga, you know what I'm saying? Right. But when they don't say that, when they pop up on the comments and they say, bruh, I remember you, bruh. This dude is really telling the truth. You know what I'm talking about? Certified. It certifies, and then it's a beautiful feeling when you know that you can challenge the whole world. You can be like, bro, I've been in everywhere. I've been in all y'all prisons. I've been in y'all cities, y'all states. I challenge anybody to get on the internet and say they did anything to me, slap me, took something from me, punk me, anything that will say I'm not real. You know what I mean? Do I owe you money? I don't owe nobody in the world. You feel me? I don't play that. I don't fuck my homies, bitches. I don't do that type of shit. I got real loyalty. I got real principles and morals. I don't really play. I don't play about this reputation. I don't play about my name. You feel me? I try to keep it 100. I ain't no bully. I ain't no smasher. I'm a good nigga. I'm hella cool. Right. But nigga, if you cross me, you put me in that, take me to that level, I'm gonna meet up. You there.
If they take you to the level, you gonna level up, huh? I'm with you.
Man, I'm gonna level up. I'm gonna meet you right there. You gonna meet a whole new person.
I can feel that for real, and it's appreciated. It's like a breath of fresh air. You know what I mean? To know, like, because especially now with the internet, it's just so much craziness and chaos going on. It's like, what's real? Everything seems fake. It's so much. So to have a real solid black man, boom, right there, it's highly appreciated. So if you ain't never heard that, I'm letting you know. As a black woman to a black man, we definitely appreciate it for being real and keeping it G, 100%.
No, I really love that. But I ain't gonna lie, I'll be looking at my, I'll be looking at my things and be telling me, who really be tuning in, my audience and everything. And my percentage is really low on the women. And I don't know why, but probably because I'm just really on some prison shit. But I'm on some game, I'm on elevating, you know what I mean? I'm on teaching, I'm on letting the youngsters know, because while I was in the pen, I was a legend. So they used to be like, oh, as soon as they come to the yard, oh, GP here, they making a beeline to me. And one of the main things they used to say was, yeah, man, I was out there pimping, you know what I'm saying? And I immediately be like, I'm not a pimp no more. Yeah, but you always gonna be a pimp. Nah, I'm not a pimp. And I'm not always gonna be a pimp. Right. I was only pimping because I felt it was a good hustle at that time. Now I look at it totally different. I feel like, I was dehumanizing women. I feel like I was not being, I wasn't being a proper person in the community. I feel like I was hurting my mother, you know what I mean? And I just feel like, for one, it's a criminal, it's a crime. And I don't do crime no more. So I'm not elevating crime, I'm not infatuated with crime. I feel like crime is retarded and it's only a temporary, success, whatever you're doing. You feel me?
Yeah, that's that growth right there. That's that growth. For sure. 100%.
And I know if you black, it's even worse, because I never should have did all the time that I did, but I did all the time that I did because I was black. I was black with a brain.
For
and
sure.
if you black with a brain, they're trying to get rid of you.
Yeah, they're trying to lose you in the system. Hope you go crazy. Hope you get stuck
For
back
sure.
there. Yeah, it's a cycle of vicious abuse, man. And you right on point with seeing it and knowing that. I want to talk to you. Okay, so presently you got your podcast. It's doing amazing. GP the Beast, another real story. But what else you got going on? And or what do you hope to have going on soon?
Well, I write books. When I was in prison, I had to create an income, and I felt abandoned. This last bit. I spent all my money trying to get out. I bailed out on a $250,000 bill. I bailed out on a $500,000 bill. I had to total out my car. I lost everything.
Right.
So this was a time, if you a celebrity type nigga and you go to the prison, they already know you a celebrity type nigga. You a boss. You feel me? You been a boss ever since these little niggas was kids. They looked up to you.
Right.
So for you to come to jail and be flat broke,
it's like, what's happening?
It's like, yeah, what's up? You the beast. That's impossible. I'm the person, when I go to jail, I'm going to run the yard. I'm going to have the keys. It don't matter if niggas is older than me or none of that. They like, no, GP the Beast. We want you. You running the car, because you the rawest nigga.
Right.
I didn't have niggas say, but I'm older than him. How is he running the car? Bruh, because you're not raw as him. You
right,
feel me?
Right.
Period. You know what I'm saying? Right. We're not going to run under your leadership. You're not him. You know what I mean? So this shit don't go by age. So I had to figure out a way to create income. Mm-hmm. So I started writing books. I was able to get the free paper from the school. I had a nigga that went to school. I said, bro, just bring me a chunk of paper every day. And I wrote 10 pages a day. It was my motto. My motto was to write 10 pages a day. So every 30 days I would write a book. Because 30 days, that's 300 pages. But I also realized that I could stop around 200 pages. Mm-hmm. So I just kept writing books until I figured out how to get somebody to actually type it and edit it. And I ended up getting that in about a year. And then I ended up, doing whatever I could. If somebody sent me $50, I sent it to the editor. You know what I mean? If I hustled up on some shit, I sent it to the editor, because I needed to make some money. And off my first book, I made $30. Okay. Now, somebody might look at that and say, that wasn't worth it. I said, shit, that's $30 right now. I'm damn near got one of the highest pay numbers on the whole prison yard. If I could get that every month, I said, but in order to level that up, since I can't get on social media, if I'm only going to make $30 a month off a book, shit, if I write 10 more, then I'll be making $300 a month. Yeah, I'll be balling in prison.
Yeah, it definitely takes.
So I ended up writing 64 books.
64? 64.
Yeah, I ended up 64 books, and I ended up self-publishing 34 while I was in prison.
Wow. That might be a Guinness Book World Record. You might should look into this. Wow.
It could possibly, but they probably ain't really looking at me like that because, I was in prison. I didn't have social media, so my books wasn't really doing that good, but they was doing good enough to keep me living in prison and help me elevate my income to another level.
Wow. So are you going to still write books, or are you going to let your 64 do what they do?
Well, I got 34 published, so I still got 30 to publish, so I don't really need to write no more. I feel like writing takes a lot of my time, and one thing I don't like to do is spend a lot of time on anything, you know what I mean? That's why I believe in multiple income. Okay. I try to create income that doesn't require me to be there in the physical presence. So I try to do things like, for instance, a book, you write it one time, it sells forever. It sells on the internet. You don't have to do a lot of hustling with it. I mean, you promote it, but just like with the book, like with the podcast, I make it a show one time and I see what it do and see how I accumulate the money. And, it allows me to be free. You know what I'm talking about?
I got you. Yeah, I'm following. I think we all following. Well, most of us following you. I'm following you, for sure. I see exactly what you're saying. I love how your mind works.
For sure.
I want to keep you too much longer. I feel like I could talk to you for a long time. I'm sure the people probably could listen to you forever, just to you just got a lot going on, and it's to the good. You know what I mean? And like I said, I definitely appreciate that. But I want to ask you, I want to ask you a couple of things. You know, while we bringing it down, what is what is some of the things, or what is it something that you would want to say to those that are behind the wall, behind the G wall, trying to figure it out? Like they got the spirit in them, but they might not know what to do. Do you have any advice or any gems for them?
I definitely got some advice for them. The one thing that bothered me the most in prison was, if you ask a person what you gonna do when you get out, or you say, what you gonna do, bro? They say, I'm gonna do this when I get out. This is the normal line. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this when I get out. But the bottom line is, that's what your mind is telling you at that moment. But if you do another 3 years, then you might have a new plan, because you probably should have a new plan, because, you know, things are being produced every year. Whatever plan you had, somebody probably already thought about it. But I say that to say this: quit focusing on the shit that you're going to do when you get out. This is still your life right now, today. So you need to focus on something that's going to make you an income right now where you at. Just because you got a wall around you, that doesn't stop you. Just because you in prison, that doesn't stop you. See, I created a mindset that said I could create income off my bunk. I didn't want to sell drugs inside the prison because it was such a small place. It's like living in a fishbowl, and the police is looking on top of you, but then it's all the fishes is in the bowl, but then you got them other fishes that inform it. So they informing the police. But even when they don't inform the police can really see anyway. You know what I'm saying? So how you think you're going to get away with a crime inside of a prison forever? You're not. It's temporary, and you're going to be told on. So I say that to say, I decided that I was going to create income not only outside the fence or outside the wall, but I wasn't even going to focus on just the city the prison was in. I want to make money throughout the whole world. I want to make money in Sacramento, LA, Hong Kong, China, Connecticut, everywhere. So I'm saying that to say, bro, quit focusing on what you're going to do when you get out. You know, a lot of, 90% of them, 99, 95% is saying, I'm going to drive a truck when I get out. Yeah, because that's the typical shit. You know, you get a truck driver license, and that's what you're probably going to do. But think outside the box. Think about what you want in prison, what they don't have in prison that can make prison better. You might be the person that come up with the next idea that's something that they implement in prison on a regular because you didn't have it. It's all about implementing something where you feel it's a void, where there ain't no lane. Think outside the box. If nothing else, you could write a book. If you write a book right now, you got a whole lot of time.
Right.
Write a book. That creates an income. It ain't about saying what I'm going to do when I get out. Create you an income today. I used to have them people bringing me a check every week. The police used to say, what the hell do you do? How are you getting all this money in jail? Because I didn't have the support like that. I wasn't sending my money to nobody. Send my money to me. Right. I'm dealing with businesses. Send my money to this prison. They like, what the fuck? This nigga check going to a prison. You feel me?
Yeah, I do. Those some.
But it added up.
Yeah, them some gems right there, bro. For sure. I hope y'all was listening. He just dropped some game on you that's out of this world, for real. Let me connect with you. Go ahead.
Let me add to that a little bit, because I want to tell you this. Okay. This is really, really important. Now, you might do something, and it might not make you a lot of money. For instance, when I was in jail, I was buying ATM machines. And I used to put them, I was in jail, so I had to find a location wherever I could. If I knew a partner that had a barbershop. But it only makes $300 a month. People would say, well, shit, that ain't nothing, man. That shit ain't worth. How much does the machine cost? It costs $2,500. Well, why would I do that? Because you need to figure out this. If you can make an investment that will recoup your money back in 4 to 8 months, that's a damn good investment. If you spend $2,500 on something and it gives you $300 a month, you know what I'm saying? So in 8 months, it gave you your $2,400 back. Then that means you only in debt for $100 now. But that means for every month after that, you get a free $300 as long as you got that machine.
Right.
You feel me? So I'm saying that to say this. Don't be tripping off trying to get rich off one idea or tripping off, I only made this. You know, I only made $30, but I was happy. The point is, if you create an income, then that's something that you accomplish. Now you need to focus on adding some zeros or making the numbers bigger or adding a comma. That's all you got to do, because now you done created an income, and that's hard to create an income out of thin air.
Yeah.
So if you create an income, now you focus on how to make that income bigger. You know what I'm saying? What's going to make these numbers bigger? What's going to give me a bigger check? So basically, whatever you do, don't be mad if you don't make a lot of money. Be super juice if you created an income, because any kind of money is an income. Now you just got to focus on making the numbers bigger.
For sure. For sure. That's some priceless game right there, brother, for real. I appreciate you for dropping it on us, the listeners, and myself. I hear you. Everybody here. If you ain't heard that, I don't know what to tell you. I'll go to sleep, wake back up, and listen to it again. For sure.
Sure.
Tell the people how they can connect with you. Yeah, you know, how they can find your books, find your podcast, and all of that. Instagram.
Sure. My Instagram, I'm GP_the_beast. You know, I got GP the Beast, another real story. That's my Instagram. My YouTube is GP the Beast. That's my music. You know, I just dropped a video called About It. My other YouTube channel is GP the Beast, another real story. That did over 100,000 views in 28 days and over 2,000 subscribers in 28 days.
Yeah, you doing it.
Which they say it usually takes about 2-3 years to do that. So that was kind of big. And my books, you know, I got several books. Like I said, I got 34 books. I wrote about everything. You know, I wrote about whatever I feel was gonna grab the attention, but at the end I started writing self-help books and telling people how I was actually making money while incarcerated, and if I could do it, then you can do it too. You feel me? So my books are under my government name, Genaro. G is in George, E is in Eric, N is in Nancy, A is in Apple, R is in Robert, O, Genaro Patterson. So my books are under Genaro Patterson. And I done wrote urban books. I done wrote books about Donald Trump, Aaron Hernandez, you know.
Yeah.
I done wrote children books. You know, I done touched on pretty much every level. You know, I had a trucking business when I was in jail. I had bought a trailer. So I told y'all I was making money off that. And several different things, you know, YouTube and books and movies. Because I be trying to do it all. Cars, you know, whatever made me a profit. It's multiple income.
Yeah, you definitely an inspiration, not just to those that incarcerated or formerly so, just period. Just how to hustle and get it done without stepping on nobody's back and hurting nobody. I appreciate that.
Exactly. And without breaking your back.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
Because you should be able to be in your bed making money. You supposed to make money while you sleep. You supposed to make money while you spending money. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Everything is, the money generation game is supposed to be coming in at all angles, because that's the kind of world we live in now.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure. I appreciate
and we're supposed to spread the love. You know
that
what I mean?
part. Spread the love. Put your people on.
You know, we all was born poor. We all trying to get up out this shit and get to another level. And it's about lifting up the families. And it's about doing what them white folks did. You know, them white folks, you know what I mean? Everybody that's the Hiltons, you know, everybody that made money in the past, they invested it in their family. So every child that was born after that was born in wealth. They wasn't born in poverty no more. So I feel like when you make it, you're supposed to uplift your family. You know, you're supposed to create motion for your family. I ain't saying you got to go buy them everything, because it ain't about giving them food. It's about showing them how to eat. You know what I'm saying? You don't you don't give them the fish, you give them the fish and pole.